And so, where are you all from? All over the world? Yes. Okay, well, tonight we are going to have 10 wonderful, exciting, talented comedians. Give them a big hand first. I'm going to spend some time with you in between the comedians. But right now, on the main stage is Lisa. But before you clap, she's a single white female. She's Martha Stewart without the legal issues, and her name is Lisa Brown Haskell. Give her a big hand.
First of all, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for coming out to see me. Those of you in the back row, the gentleman in the back row, I think I see you out there. The lights are kind of bright. I know you're thinking, damn, I should have sat in the front row. Look at all that cleavage she's got going. Not really. The guys in the front row aren't seeing cleavage either, are you? You're seeing cleavage? It's all about the bra. I do want to thank my friends, who I think I have the most here tonight. I think I have 9 people here to see me. Me. It's all about me. It's all about me. But thank you for coming. If you stay, I'll actually give you an extra $20. I used to be married. I'm now divorced, and I'm dating. Dating is a lot of work. Lots of work. And you know what I don't like about dating? It's inefficient use of my time. I just want one. I don't want to go through the screening process. Don't want to pick one out. Don't want to try them on. The whole deal. I just want one. Can't give up that idea of having a significant other. Now I've tried everything. I've tried the blind date. I've tried being fixed up by friends, and thank you, friends. I've tried online dating, and really, in all honesty, that's the most time-efficient way to date, online. You can screen them. You check the box, what you're looking for. You hit the search button, and there pops up 697 people that you just have to go through. There are some flaws with online dating. For those of you who are single and haven't tried it yet, you really can't tell if they have bad breath. You can't tell if they have a hairy back. You really can't tell. And most importantly, you can't tell if they spent time in a local penitentiary. But breaking up online is quite easy. Actually, you know, you don't have to take them out, buy them a beer, you don't have to choose your words carefully. All you do is delete. I'm hoping that at some point, you know, men get this signal thing straight. You know, when I'm out with a guy, I usually can tell if he likes me. Something grows. Not his mind. No, not his mind. What would be great is if he lies to me, his nose would grow, like Pinocchio. You know, after a first lie, maybe it's not so noticeable. After the 3rd and 4th lie, I can head on down the bar to someone else. I've dated a lot of frogs. Kissed a lot of frogs. None turned into a prince. A few I hoped would croak. But you know, they all wanted to jump me. Now let me tell you about some of the frogs I've dated either in person or online. There was, there was Rusty, who talked about his ex-wife, who had been gone, they'd been divorced for like well over 3 years, been separated over 5. Talked about her 20 to 30 times a day. Then, of course, there was Frank, who bought me a $3 cup of coffee. And, you know, $3 is a lot to put out. Not for me, but, you know. Puts out $3 for a cup of coffee for me and thinks he's got me for the night. Now, you don't know me, but I'm expensive. You wait till he's on stage. Here's the thing. I'm efficient, don't like to waste time, especially in the car. So I'm one of those women that you see putting on their makeup, talking on their cell phone while driving, possibly reading a map, because I get lost quite easily. I like to get from Victoria's Secrets to traffic court as quickly as possible. Now, most of you, when you see red lights flashing in your rearview mirror, you're thinking, license, registration, insurance card. I'm thinking, lipstick. Hair, and push-up bra. Now, recently I was driving home from work and I thought I was having a heart attack. Seriously, not funny. I thought I was having a heart attack. I had severe pain in my shoulder, numbness in my hands, difficulty breathing. But the biggest irritation was the push-up bra. You know, how do you get that sucker off when you're in the car driving thinking you're having a heart attack? And you guys laugh, you don't wear one. You don't know. You big-breasted women, you don't know. You don't wear one. Well, as I was out dating, and I was quite unsuccessful dating, and it was beginning to bother me, and I thought, I'm not meeting the man of my dreams. Maybe I should buy the car of my dreams. Now here's an ad to sell more cars to 40-year-old single women. No man, buy a luxury sedan. Now, there's a lot that a Volvo can do for me that a man can't. Now, if I want warmth, all I do is turn on the heated seats. If I want him to go all night, he can. My Volvo, that is. The great thing about my car is it always looks good in leather, and I've seen men in leather, it's not always good. Things that a Volvo will do for me, and I don't really even have to ask. It'll go to the mall. Loves it. We'll run errands all day on Saturday and not bitch about it. It will take me for dinner and a movie, and when it drives me home, it expects absolutely nothing in return. Now, what am I looking for in a man, you might ask? You know, I'll tell you what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a man with a secure job. I'm looking for a man who has the same religious beliefs as me. One who believes I'm a god. I'd like him to be active in the community. You know, I volunteer. I'd like him to be active in the community with me. And, of course, what's extremely important in any relationship, I believe, is that he loves country music like I do. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. This is what I'm really looking for in a man. 6 figures, BMW 5 Series, and a really big stock portfolio. Now, those of you who are single out there, after this is all over with, if you want to meet me out in the hallway, there'll be a phone signing. I'll give you my phone number. You know, I find it's a quick and easy way to meet people. Bring them all in, talk to them, move them out. Efficient use of my time. I do have a cell phone that vibrates when it rings, so call me. Let it ring and ring and ring. Go, go, go. Go! Again, I'd like to thank you for coming out to see me. And if you didn't enjoy this, delete.
He's actually a guy who wishes he was watching football right now. But his name is Dad Pola. Give him a big hand.
Thanks for coming out tonight. First of all, I'd like to make it clear that there's nothing wrong with a little hair on your back. With this northern climate, I'll take any extra layer I can get. Well, I was reading the newspaper the other day, and I was reading this article about this thing called the radio frequency identification chip. And this is a brand new technology. You put this chip on something and it allows you to track its location anywhere it goes. Now, I'm thinking this is a great idea. We've got weapons of mass destruction, nuclear bombs running around. But I read a little further along, and the first place they're going to test this is in Walmart. And, you know, I can understand the concern. Some crazy maniac's going to run into the store, steal a bunch of clothes, and then take a family hostage. And he'll call up the police and say, okay, I want $5 million, a helicopter, or I'm going to send these kids outside wearing these goofy-ass pants. But in general, places like Walmart, Target, these discount retailers, I try to avoid them, but occasionally you just need to stop there. And usually what compels that stop on the way home is the combination of items that you need. I mean, where else are you going to find a blender, Preparation H, a ski mask, and the new Beyonce CD in the same place? And, you know, I'm in a hurry, I'm an impatient guy, and I want to get in and out of there as soon as possible. But inevitably, I'm in there and I get stuck in the aisle behind some big guy with a shopping cart full of shit, and he hasn't left his house in 10 years, but all of a sudden he decides he needs a new pair of tube socks. We'll call him Vern. So Vern is looking around, looking like he's having some kind of religious experience. Oh my God, I can't believe all this stuff. I gotta leave my house more than once every 10 years. And to add another wrinkle to my problem, Vern not only has not left his house in 10 years, but he looks like he hasn't showered in 10 years either. So, as I'm trying to plot my next move around Vern to go get my Preparation H, I'm thinking, do I try to graze by Vern and risk the possibility of getting a whiff of his undoubtedly nasty BO? Or do I take a shortcut through electronics to jump into the pharmacy section? And it wouldn't be that confusing, but just beyond Vern, about 10 feet ahead, is a woman with 3 kids running around her in a circle, waving DVDs, yelling, SpongeBob, SpongeBob. So I'm standing back here with my Beyonce CD and my ski mask under my arm, like Brett Favre surveying the defense. And should I just run and try to dodge these shoppers like tacklers? Well, if I do that, chances are I'm going to get tackled myself by security. Because if you see some guy running through the store with a ski mask and a CD under his arm, he's definitely the strangest guy in the store. And if I need to deal with police tonight, I'm definitely not getting home soon. But in regards to security in general, I don't know if you've noticed in these stores, if you look very closely, you'll see the security cameras. And also the interesting thing, particularly about like Target, for example, is the store is laid out in a square. So you could walk around this square for an indefinite period of time in every department over and over again. Now, I'm thinking, paranoid like I am, there's a couple security guards sitting in a booth somewhere, watching the monitor, taking bets on which place I'm going to go to next. You know, some guy's saying, "I'll bet you $5 he goes for the Cheetos." "Oh, no, he picked his nose, you owe me 10. So, the other thing that concerns me here is even though the Target is laid out like a square, the logo is a circle, which I find really disturbing because I'm thinking, all right, make up your mind which shape you want to be affiliated with. And I'm half expecting to walk into the store at some point and have a sales associate walk up to me and say, "Good morning, sir, welcome to Target. You look a little concerned. Is the whole circle square thing bothering you?" "Yes, I am a little concerned about the circle square thing." "Well, that's no problem. Have a seat over here. In 15 minutes, we're going to have a geometry class right now." And actually, that has become a trend. I don't know if you've noticed, but retail stores now are offering classes so we can learn while we shop, apparently. Like Home Depot, for example. You've seen this. They have like Ceramic Tile 101 or Bush Trimming for Dummies. I'm reading the newspaper the other day, even Boscov's, a goddamn department store, offers classes. And this would make for a very interesting job interview, right? "Oh, Linda, your qualifications are quite impressive. I see you have a master's degree. Where did you study?" "Oh, Boscov's. I just bought a nice pair of khaki pants there the other day. You're hired." Thank you very much. All right.
Football. Give it everything. Okay, our next comedian, Sharon Dyer, who in her own words is living a life in which she can do nothing but stand-up comedy. Welcome her.
Thank you all for coming. That was sadly true. And you may already be thinking to yourselves, boy, she certainly has something unique she brings to the arena of comedy. A fat Jewish girl who thinks she's funny. But you know, I'm only half Jewish, and really I'm only half fat. I am torso woman. It's like I wore green on purpose. I wanted to appear as I am, a big green apple on 2 sticks. Anyway, it's very hard to be fat. It's uncomfortable, and there's still a social stigma. But I think the worst thing is that moment you realize that you don't get to go through life on your good looks. You're going to have to cultivate some other things like a personality, a warm, caring nature. In other words, you got to act like you give a fuck. It's awful never to be afforded the luxury of being a cold, heartless bitch. Quite frankly, I think I'd be pretty good at that. Oh yes, it's hard to be fat. Especially when you're trying to find clothes to flatter. Probably the worst thing is to go out looking for a bathing suit. Any woman who's ever been the least bit overweight and been in search of a bathing suit has gotten a glimpse of hell. I have often thought, and I may do it very soon, because I think it's time, that if I wouldn't be up on obscenity charges, I would like to send a picture of me nude to manufacturers as a public service. I think they got to know. To design these things, who they're making it for. They could continue making their suits in the one-figure problem series, like tummy smoother, bust enhancer, bust reducer. They could continue making those in the regular people sizes. But in the big girl sizes, they gotta know we need all of the above. And another thing before I move away from that topic, I wish that they would stop making bathing suits in my size in the color gray or any kind of animal print. I have thought this through. I've made a career of being fat. But a lot of people are new to it. And they're going to go out and they're going to buy these and they're going to leave themselves open to comments like beach whale, wild animal stampede. You got to give us a break here. Stop making them. And oh, there's so much to be pissed about. If I seem to lack the energy, it's because I do. Before I move away from this topic, no set of mine would be complete without mentioning my breast. My God, I hate them. And you can't find a bra to contain them. They make minimizer bras with stretch straps that adjust in the back. Now, I would hope that if I send that nude photo, bathing suit people would send it to the bra manufacturers so they get a picture of this. Why would you put stretch straps on a bra in a size 42 triple D? If I got walking at a good gait, And what's up with adjusting in the back? Are they not familiar with Isaac Newton and the theory of gravity? It's going to be slippage. And unless I'm double jointed, I'm not going to be able to fix that. Oh, I am. I'm so pissed. And what I love is when people try to reduce something so complex to a V8 moment. Like when they say, well, you really should go on a diet and start exercising. I'm thinking, oh, thank you, I never would have gone on that. I do have a plan, actually, and I'm going to share it with you. I have a weight control plan. I call it the controlled gaining plan. I join an organized fat shop every now and then, knock off 10 or 15 pounds, drop out, put it back on, and rejoin. So by doing this, I figure I am controlling the rate at which I gain. It could be more unsightly. You could be looking at a 400-pound woman right now if I didn't do this. And before I move away from the weight issue, let me just say that, of course, we all know there are health issues associated with weight. About 2 years ago, I got diagnosed with diabetes, which, of course, it's a very serious illness. But as I started sharing this with people, this information, the overwhelming question was, what type? Well, obviously, I don't have juvenile diabetes. I just told you I just got diagnosed. So after hearing that question one too many times, I came out with, I got you've been a fat fuck too long time. Otherwise known as chew. Yeah, I'm pissed. I probably don't have much time left, but I would like to share with you a few other things that really piss me off. The stupid things that people say to you from all walks of life. Like several years ago, we had a neighbor who stopped me on my way back in the house, and it was after a day, that kind of day that you just want to you want to leave work, you want to drive home, you want to get in your house, curl up in the fetal position, and shut the freaking world out for 8 hours or so. So she's outside. Sharon, I really need to talk to you. Your cat has been coming in my garage during the day, and I believe he's spraying in there, and he's messing things up. And I was like, Karen, I'll call you later. I can't deal with this right now. So I get in the house, and I said to my husband, there were only 2 possible responses to this. Number 1, I'll have to talk with my cat. Or number 2, close your fucking garage. I didn't call her back because, quite frankly, I am tired of playing the role that I seem to be eternally cast in, saying, the Empress wearing no clothes. I'm tired of telling people what ought to be abundantly clear to everyone. Okay, another stupid thing that somebody has said to me, oh, I could go on hours, but I had a little problem in the house. We had large ants, large black ants, on the march. And my husband tried to do something about it. He took them, he said, I'll take care of that. He saw they were coming in along the ceiling of the seam. So he got up there with his duct tape. That was his grand effort to stop. Obviously, it just slowed them down. So I called an exterminator, and I figured, you know, you gotta, once in a while, you gotta spend the money, you gotta call a professional. So I told him what was going on, and he says to me, well, have you captured one of them? I said, well, no, I didn't know I was supposed to. So we go on talking a little further, and he says, but are they carpenter ants? I don't fucking know. They're big enough to be wearing tool belts. Oh, I got bored because he years of repressed rage. I think I'll wind it up with, I'm gonna comment on something Lisa earlier talking about dating. Got me to thinking about my dating days. And it's been a good 30 years. And yes, I dated. I know it may be a surprise, I've always been fat, but yes, I had my demographic, damn it. And it was foreign men. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe they appreciate the abundant woman. That could be it. Or I thought, is there something? Do I look like the fucking Statue of Liberty? I don't think I'm sending that by. But anyway, I did marry, naturally, no piece of white bread was ever attractive to me. I married a lovely Spanish man, and he is a nice man. And it's a damn shame because, oh, the material there. Thank you very much.
Please refrain from laughter until the conclusion of my lesson. If you need to speak, raise your hand. If you need to use the restroom, I'll gladly write you a pass. Yeah, I'm a school teacher, but I'm a culinary arts teacher and a certified executive chef. But I'm a minority. As a chef, I have all my hair, I don't drink, and I'm skinny. And chefs often have those cute little names like Chef Boyardee or Pillsbury Doughboy. They call me the Dalmati Beanpole. And chefs come in 2 sizes. They come in capital A's and lowercase b's. But chefs are a weird bunch of people. They wear these thick, double-breasted, long-sleeve chef coats in the hottest environment you can possibly work in. You'd think the hotheads they are, they want to run around in their birthday suits, like I do, with my tall hat, of course. Those ridiculous tall hats. Every time I bend over, it's falling off. You got to duck through doorways. I swear if it was any taller, you'd want a red light on it for low-flying planes. I want to let you in on a little culinary secret. There is a company out there that makes cutlery. The name of the cutlery is F. Dick. So when you order a chef's knife, you order it by the inches. So you'll order an 8-inch dick, or a 10-inch dick, a 12-inch dick, or a 3-inch dick, but I don't know any chef that would want one. But I think that might be why they came up with those baby vegetables for those chefs with the little dicks. Now, when choosing a dick, choose one with a good, thick, stiff blade. One with good balance, smooth, and fits comfortably in your hand. Just below the tang, you'll want 2 good, big, strong rivets to give it the force it needs. Some chefs say size doesn't matter. But let me tell you, choose the dick that's right for you. You can always start off small and work your way longer. At times, rubbing a little oil on it will prevent friction and make for easier slicing. And there's a couple safety tips I'd like to give you. Never walk with the point upwards. Always walk with the point down so you don't poke anybody. Never catch a falling dick. And always keep your dick clean and sanitized. Now, for those of you that do your best cooking in the bedroom, there are a few other tools that you may want to add to your toolbox, such as a meat tenderizer, a whip, and a steel for honing your dick when your dick gets dull. I forgot my next line, obviously. Oh well. The 3-second rule. I, as a teacher, could not teach the 3-second rule. If you drop it, you throw it away. I found out recently that the older chefs, they don't use the 3-second rule either. 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 minutes, pick it up, cook it, and sell it. Doesn't matter. I recently worked with an old-timer, Chef Marcelli. Now, Chef Marcelli, he was an old-timer. He should have retired probably 10 years sooner. But the business gets in your blood, and I swear that his DNA are swimming around his body with little chef hats on. But he said to me, "Koala, what's the matter with you? You gotta eat or something. You're too skinny. What's the matter?" I said, "Chef, I'm all right." He said, "Koala, hand me my dick." I said, "What?" He said, "My dick. Hand me my dick. I got a slice of this bologna." So we were finishing up work. We were finishing up work this one night, and he was taking his apron off, which was a Picasso of food stains, and proceeded to take the apron off, and he wiped the river of sweat from his forehead and his face. Then he took the apron and cleaned off his shoes with it, and then he finished up by laying one of these in it. Then he proceeded to hang it back up on the hook for later use. Well, we went and we got the longest tongs we could find, put our rubber gloves on, grabbed the apron, and tossed it in the trash can. Now I want to leave you with one final word, and that is the man in the kitchen with the tallest hat has the biggest dick in his drawers.
We have a farmer. His name is Joe Peck. He's a dairy farmer. He's tried out every one of his jokes on his cows. So, welcome, Farmer Peck.
Thank you very much. Yes, I am a real farmer. You know how you can tell a real farmer? A real farmer doesn't make pets out of anything he can eat. He doesn't wear LL Bean boots or wear designer jeans. And he doesn't jog either. If you see him running, he probably accidentally stepped in a hornet's nest. A real farmer doesn't flinch when he snaps on the jumper cables. Nor does he buy his Christmas trees at supermarkets. And a real farmer never stacks his firewood higher than his wife can reach. Now, I've been farming for a long time, and I'm out there in the country, and there's more and more people moving out in the country. And I had one of these guys come out there and buy a lot and build a house. He figured, being a farmer, I'd know the answer to any question he might have. So he comes over and he says, I'm putting in a lawn, and he says, I want to know what to plant. Well, I knew his lawn was mostly rocks and clay. I said, how about a flagpole? Then he says, I'm out here all in this house all by myself out here. He says, what do I do if a wild animal comes at me? I said, you treat them the same way you do a life insurance salesman. Never make eye contact. I liked it better when there was nothing out there but us farmers and a few porcupines. Now there's more BMWs than there are porcupines. You know the difference between a BMW and a porcupine? BMW are the pricks on the inside. Well, the trouble with being a farmer is you're subject to the weather and variable prices and all kinds of problems, and even the government. I had somebody from the state labor department stop me the other day, and he asked me all kinds of questions. He said, how many men you got working at any one time? I said, about half of them. Then he says, how many employees you got headed for retirement? I said, I haven't got any of them going the other way. Well, he says, I got a report, you're not paying the minimum wage. I said, well, I certainly am. Unless you're talking about the half-wit. All he gets is $20 a week in his meals. He said, let me talk to him. I said, mister, you are talking to him. Now, I appreciate that nice introduction, but I don't get many kind words, you know. My wife and I were walking down Broadway here this summer. I said, I think your stockings are wrinkled. She said, I haven't got any stockings on. Then one of these Skidmore girls goes by wearing short shorts, and I'm old, but I'm not too old to look, and I took a good look. My wife says, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Think you've never seen legs before. I said, I was beginning to think the same thing myself. Then my wife and I were in one of these ladies' clothing stores there on Broadway. One of these gals came in and she was scantily clad. She didn't talk about it. I mean, she didn't have enough on to want a shotgun. She went up the owner of the store and says, can I try on that dress in the window? And he said, go ahead, it might be good for business. I think that having a sense of humor is very important. Now, my youngest daughter, Sharon, she has got a sense of humor. When she was a girl, she was in the supermarket with her mother. And they were going through the checkout line, and ahead of them was this big man, biggest man she'd ever seen. The man was wearing a beeper. Well, the beeper goes off. She turns to her mother and says, look out, Mama, I think he's going to back up. You know how little girls ask all kinds of questions. She was asking her mother questions one day, and she says, how do lions kiss? She says, how do I know? Your father's a Rotarian. Well, she's quite a knitter. I've been knitting all her life, and surprisingly enough, she can knit and drive a car at the same time. Now, last summer, she was knitting on the Northway, and a state trooper comes up beside her and says, "Pull over." She says, "No, it's going to be a pair of socks." I told her I read somewhere it takes 3 sheep to make a sweater. She says, "I didn't even know they can knit." Well, she always wanted to be a teacher. I said, "Why do you want to be a teacher?" She said, 3 reasons: June, July, and August. Well, I got to give her credit. She went to State Teachers College and graduated. The first interview she had, the principal said, "Do you believe the world is round or the world is flat?" She says, "Hey, I can teach it either way." Well, she went on and taught for 5 years, and she went on and got her master's and her PhD, and now she's a professor at a State Teachers College out in Geneseo. And realize by now, with all that work experience and all that training, she's over 30 and not married. When she goes to all these family weddings, you know how it is, the old aunts come up and say, "You next, you next." She fixed them at family funerals. She goes up to them and says, "You next, you next." Well, my son's in partnership with me on the farm. We get along fine now, but when he was a kid, he was a holy terror. I remember the time I bought him a sweatshirt. I bought him a sweatshirt. No, I bought him a BB gun, and he bought me a sweatshirt with a bullseye on the back. But the worst thing he did was mix crazy glue with my preparation H. Well, I'm lucky. I'm living on the farm I was born and brought up on. Big family of boys. In fact, I didn't know what it was like to sleep alone until after I got married. You know those big farmhouses, you'd heat with wood, you'd cook with wood. And I was 15 before I didn't know my name wasn't Joe Get Wood. Those were the days. You'd bathe in the spring, and then again in the fall. We used to take a bath. We'd heat the water on an old wood stove, and get a tub out and take a bath right there on the kitchen floor, and we'd get water and rain off the roof and everything. And one Saturday night, my father came to the boys and says, "I got good news and bad news. Bad news is it hasn't rained so much, so we don't have any water. Take a bath. Good news is you can change your underwear. Joe, you change with lube. Didn't get through high school in 2 terms, though, Truman's and Eisenhower's. As you might guess, I wasn't much of an athlete, but the coach was always trying to get me to go out for sports. One day he brought a football and handed it to me. He said, "You pass that?" And I said, "I don't even think I can swallow it." I was brought up a good Baptist, and I don't drink, but one of the guys in my class, he was quite a drinker. He got drunk one night, and he woke up next morning, and he couldn't even remember where the party was. All he could remember was that they had a golden toilet. Well, he went up and down the street knocking on doors to find out who had the golden toilet. He knocked on one door and asked the lady if they had a golden toilet. She turns to her husband and says, "I think we found the guy that crapped in the tuba last night." Gotta talk about dating. I didn't date much in high school, and all of my buddies felt sorry for me, so they told me they'd arranged a blind date. They wanted me to come to this one guy's house, Said, "Your blind date's in the next room." Well, what they'd done, they put me in a room with one of these full-size inflatable dolls. Well, a few minutes, I come storming out of the room, and they said, "How was your date? How was your date?" And they're all snickering, and I said, "Some date. All I did is nibble on her ear, and I'll be darned if she didn't break wind and fly out the window." Well, I think it's important to give back to the community, so one of the things I try and do is go down to the nursing home, cheer up the old folks. And I was down there last summer, and it was a hot day. I think that air conditioner broke down, and one of the old gals stripped off all her clothes and shot right across the lobby. Well, these 2 old guys are sitting there in their wheelchair. One of them says, "Did you see that?" And he says, "Yes." He said, "What was she wearing?" He said, "I don't know, but it sure needed ironing." Then a pretty nurse goes walking across in front of him, and he says, "Do you remember back during World War II they used to put something in our food so we wouldn't be thinking about the gals?" And he says, "Yes." He says, "Well, I think it's beginning to take effect." Then there was another nice lady who was bedridden, and I sat there and visited with her for a while. She had a little bowl of peanuts there on the table. I took one, then another, and pretty soon the peanuts are gone. I said, "I'm sorry, I ate all your peanuts." She said, "That's all right, I can't eat them. My son-in-law brings them to me. All I do is suck the chocolate off." I know it's hard to believe, but I just turned 65 and I don't feel old. I figure you're old when your knees buckle and your belt doesn't. You're old when your children begin to look middle-aged. The little old lady you help across the street is your wife. When you go out to eat, you spend more time looking at the menu than you do the waitress. But the hardest part is when your wife puts on a sheer nightie and your eyes aren't good enough to see through it. And the worst thing is, when you get older, you have to go to the bathroom a little more often. Now, my wife and I went to the senior play at school the other night. It was a long first act. Come intermission, I had to go. And I went out and I tried all the doors, and I found classrooms, and I found closets, but I couldn't find a bathroom. Finally, I opened the door, and there's a bush. I said, "Oh, the heck with it," and I wet the bush down. Went back and slid in next to my wife, and I said, "Second act start yet?" She said, "You ought to know, you were in it." Thank you very much, you've been a great artist.
Hi, how are you?
A little nervous?
She's nervous. That's normal. Give her another big.
I'm not a farmer. But anyway, I grew up in an extended family household. And so my family lived downstairs, and we had my my family lived upstairs, and my grandparents, that's my mom's Italian parents, lived downstairs from us. And this made for a lot of excitement growing up. My grandparents were actually pretty paranoid people. And my grandmother especially was very suspicious of my father. She always thought he was doing something, and she would accuse him of like doing all this stuff in the middle of the night just to like wake her and my grandfather up. She'd get very upset about it. Like, "Ray, you got to stop! What are you doing? You got to stop jumping! You wake us up! I'm gonna call the police!" So in addition to jump roping in the middle of the night, she accused him of, he'd go outside in the yard with the flashlight and peer in through the window and watch them and watch my grandmother undress. She had him tapping on the window and just all kinds of mischief. And my mom took it in stride. She had a good sense of humor. She was just like, "Oh, God. I wish your father had that kind of energy in the middle of the night." And anyway, so Grandma was around all when I was a kid, and when my mom was working, paranoid Grandma was the one that was taking care of me and my brother. And so she was good like that. She would take care of us. She was always, warning us to be careful whenever we were looking to go out and play. And my grandmother's warnings were scary. Somehow, it didn't matter what we were looking to do, she had just seen on the news some kid that got hurt or killed doing that very thing. So I'd go to Grandma, "Grandma, I'm gonna go for a bike ride." "Man, I just see on the news that this boy, he'd go for a bike ride and he died." "Oh, God. Grandma, I'm gonna go to the park now." "Man, no, you gotta be careful. There's a girl like you, she go to the park and she fall. They have to bring her to the hospital. You gotta be careful." "Okay, Grandma." So, finally, "Grandma, I'm gonna go to the store." "Man, no, you gotta be careful. You go to the store, the kids, they go to the store, they get mobbed, and then they get killed. Then they go to the hospital. You gotta be careful." So, apparently my grandmother had a subscription to the 24-hour child death network when I was but my childhood was pretty fun. It was interesting. My mom had this fun game that we'd play when we were bored. We'd stand over by the window, look outside, and she'd be like, "Okay, kids, the next person that walks past the house is your real father." That would keep us laughing. Until my dad actually did come home. And my dad, he's a character in his own right. For the longest time, he was claiming that he could communicate with the whales at the aquarium. And until apparently they had some kind of a falling out, and now they don't speak anymore. And yeah, so my mom's pretty funny. One time she was getting a free turkey from one of those credit card rewards programs, and unfortunately she found out it was going to be delivered on a day that she was out of the house. So she needed to make sure that somebody was there to take care of this. So she calls home, and my brother, who is a bit of a recluse and doesn't normally answer the door, she needed to let him know that he needed to answer the door. He doesn't answer the phone either, so she had to leave him a message. It went something like this. "Hello? Stephen? Are you there? It's me. Your mother? Stephen, pick up if you're there. Okay. I just wanted to let you know that if the doorbell rings, I want you to answer it. Because it may be the turkey. Okay? The turkey is supposed to come today, so if the doorbell rings, answer it and let the turkey in. Okay. Bye-bye.
Good night.
I've had a great big introduction for our next comedian, but he'll only let me say, and here is Gary Packer. Come on.
Yeah, Catherine. My real name is Gary Packer. But my friends, actually my enemies, call me Chucky Jew! Chucky Jew! and I never understood why. Is it because I wear jockey underwear? Or is it because they knew that the rabbi circumcised me and he thought he was in a department store and everything was half off? Now, this is, I swear, a true story. I heard from a friend of 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 a friend about this woman who has an orgasm every time she sees a Rolex watch. An orgasm. Can you imagine if she saw a grandfather clock? It'd make his pendulum stand up. I never knew my father's father, but I knew my father's mother. She had a beard, and a mustache, and hairy armpits, and I called her Grandpa. When she shaved, I called her Grandma. My other grandmother, my mother's mother, she was a professional bargain hunter. She bought me this beautiful Armani suit for my first job interview. I was 5. My ancestors were from the old country, Russia, where the men were hairless and the women were hairy. And their last name was Kar. Can you imagine a name Kar? I mean, you can't live in Florida or any hot weather areas with a name like Kar. I mean, just to get the phlegm up, you need to live in a cold area like Russia or Alaska. I I mean, it's really tough. And the only times you can do it around here is in the winter, you know, when you have the flu, you can get some phlegm up. Now, they wanted to come to the United States for the good life. So they saw the immigration officer. He was 150 years old. And he says, "What's your last name?" Car. "Oh, you want to know where you can buy a car? It's on 52nd Street. No, her name is Car. Oh, your name is Packer. No, it's Car." So after a spitting match for about an hour, we became Packer. Now, what goes with the name Packer? Either football, I mean, what occupation goes with the name Packer? Football, or the meat business? Well, my family was not athletic, so guess what? We got into the meat business. We became Packers Wholesale Meats. Been in business 50 years. And I don't know if you ever had this before. This is a delicacy. Bull's dicks. Anyone have bull's dick? It's a real delicacy. Now, bull's dick, I mean, we used to have people, "Do you have fresh dick, or do you have frozen? I want some stiff dick." Now, it comes with accessories. If you're 6 foot tall, a 2 foot, I mean, well, actually, let me go back here. Now, what we did was we put that 6-inch dick on a rail, and in 24 hours, that 6-inch dick turns into a 2-foot cane. Can you imagine the envy? You'd have a 2-foot dick? I mean, this is true in New York City. They sell them for $200 to $300 for a 2-foot dick. Imagine walking around. Now, they have accessories. For anyone that's 6 foot tall, you need an extender, so they have a 4-foot dick. And if you know, for Christmas, you know, you want some decoration, so you can get some blue balls. Now, if you're in the park, somebody sticks you up, hey, put the gun down or I'm gonna dick you. Now, believe it or not, I had four heart attacks. You know, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a politician, and I'm not a used car salesman. I've got a heart. Now, I asked the doctor, you know, the only thing that I was thinking about is the 3-letter word is sex. You know, after you have a heart attack, you wonder, hey, when can I have sex? And I asked Dr. Dick Clinton. I don't know if you've ever heard it. You probably did. Dick Clinton is Bill Clinton's half-brother. You know, he's half the size. In fact, Bill Clinton used to call him Junior Dick. Now, I asked the doctor, you know, when can I have sex? Mr. Packer, if you can go up and down 2 flights of stairs, you can have sex once. If you can go up and down 3 flights of stairs, you can have sex twice. Well, Doc, what if I can do 4 flights of stairs? Then you can satisfy Monica Lewinsky. Well, Doc, you know, I only can do 1 flight of stairs. Mr. Packer, then you can think about it. Well, you know, I was proud of myself. A week after, I was able to do 1.5 flights of stairs. So, what can I do now, Doc? Well, Mr. Packer, you were able to think about it. Now you can dream about it. I've been heart attack free for 3 years. Guess what? I'm still thinking about it. My wife's in the audience. Honey, I'm dreaming about it too. I got Sjogren's. Ever hear of Sjogren's? Sounds sexy, doesn't it? Go to a bar. Hey, I got Sjogren's. You want it? Well, it's an autoimmune disease. It's in only women. And I asked the doctor, Dr. Chen, what are the symptoms? You got dry eyes? Do I have dry eyes? Yeah, I've got dry eyes. Do you have a dry mouth? Yeah, I've got dry mouth. Do you have a dry vagina? Am I from North Carolina? No. No, you have a dry vagina. Do I have a dry vagina? Doc, you're a quack. Do I look like a woman with a dry vagina? Mr. Parker, I'm the doctor. You are a woman and you have a dry vagina. Now, I saw after this, I saw a life regression specialist. I don't know if you ever heard of them. I could be your wife, I could be your mother, I could be your father, I could be your dog, I can be, a pig from your past life. So I saw her and she said, she's from Sweden, Gretchen.
Daddy! Daddy, I see you, and I see your husband,
That was my brother.
and I see 10 kids.
Well, I put 2 and 2 together. Okay, my brother was my wife, I was my brother's wife, Sjogren's disease, 10 kids, dry vagina. I sell real estate, and in real estate, I don't know if you ever see the ads. I don't know if you know what they really mean. Well, number one, do you know what open floor plan is? Open floor plan is actually vacant land. And how about owner financing?
If you don't pay in 1 week, we break a 1 leg. If you don't pay in 2 weeks, we break a 2 legs. If you don't pay in 3 weeks, we cut off your 3rd leg.
And how about half bath? That's a hole in the backyard with 2 shovels to hold on to. Master bath, that's his and her holes in the ground with shovels to hold on to. Now, do you ever see Fixer Upper? Get excited about those, right? That's an outhouse with an umbrella on top. I just want to thank everyone for coming to see me. And I want to thank my wife.
Coming to the stage next is H.R. Puffinstuff's twin brother, Shawn Smith.
Hey, what's up, John? He's moving now. Yeah, I really can't see any of you. You guys looked hot from the back before, so give yourselves a hand for being sexy. Want to thank, or not. If you're not feeling sexy, don't clap. It's okay. I kind of feel kind of weird coming up after Gary. I really didn't know I was going to talk about vagina so much. Especially dry ones. So let's get it out there now, though. I know it's obvious. You do see this whole area on me. And no, I am not fucking related to Danny Bonaducci. You guys are all douchebags for thinking that. And my mom, well, she is lovely and puts up a lot of my shit, including this enormous skull, which cost, I guess, 72 hours of labor. No, she's not Shirley Jones. And I have driven really shitty beaters, but that van is just messed up. I'm not gonna kid. And I don't have a vagina either. I know that I'm thinking about it now that Gary said something for 5 minutes. I wasn't quite expecting vagina talk before me. I was supposed to be the vulgar one, evidently. Wow. So, how you guys doing?
Right.
Good? Wow. That got real quiet. Thank you for making me feel incredibly comfortable. I don't know how I got 8th. We didn't draw numbers. It was kind of like, all right, so there's the dude with the big head, and let's fuck with him. Let's put him as close to the end as possible so that people have something to laugh about when he comes out. Because he's young, and he's got energy, and he's got things to look forward to. I got my degree in psychology. If there's anyone here in school, I want to let you know this now. You can't do anything but wipe your ass with that degree. In the event of a fire, I know what I'm running back into the house for. It's the only thing that I paid 52 grand for and I'm not doing anything with. It's pathetic, actually. And I got a nice warning, actually. I'm glad I took my cell phone out of my pocket, because it would probably be ringing right now. My sister, on the way here, she called me and reminded me to not say anything vulgar about her, anything dirty Kristen may have done as a child. Because she is really kind of hot. She looks nothing like me. She's the milkman's kid. He's a very nice man, though. At least that father's playing child support. I'm not even near my routine. It's the vagina thing still, guys. I'm sorry. It's been a lot of pussy talk tonight. And Gary mentioned the stiff rod thing, and he said something about blue balls. Wow. Everyone's been there. Well, if you're a guy, I mean, if you're a girl, you've had blue balls. I'm sorry. That's really friggin' hard to do, but God bless you. Women are awesome for a lot of reasons. Most of them are, well, they're all the same height laying down. I'm an equal opportunity humper. They're all the same color in the dark. And evidently they can tolerate me enough to sleep with me. I don't know. Paul joked. I have to say something about Paul. Paul, I gotta give Paul a hand. Mostly because Paul talked about many times. He wants to do shit. He wants me to hang out with the kids. He wants me to get dressed up and put on clown paint because of the hair. And I'm a little offended. I get Danny Bonaducci. I obviously haven't had bozo comments in an exceptionally long time, so I want to take time to draw a fact to Paul. He said something about dicks. A lot of stuff about dicks, frankly. And, well, you can have a needle dick, gentlemen, but you've got to remember, you have to have a sewing machine ass. That's what the ladies really want. Size doesn't matter. Just keep telling yourself that. Your mom loves you, and size doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you say about her in public with a microphone in your hand. You guys are here for free. I'm giving my mom a heart attack tonight. She just turned 50, you know, and menopause isn't bad enough. A woman needs a heart attack. And that's a gift that a son at 26 living at home with a really shitty job. Dudes, I'm working at Walmart. I got a degree and I'm working overnight stocking toys at Walmart, all right? Just rethink the whole degree thing. If you're in psychology now, pick business, get into porn, I don't care. Something other than psychology, because you don't get better looking, the opportunities disappear, and I'm not in the mood to go back to school. School was boring for me. I know Sharon and I had talked about this a long time ago. Not my mother, Sharon, I forgot to mention that, but yeah. But there was this thing with having ADD that I wasn't good in school. It's not that I wasn't smart. I mean, I'm a fucking genius as far as I'm concerned. And most of the world doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. But I tell everyone every day I'm a card-carrying member of Mensa. It's just I can't remember to bring the card out with me. You gotta pay like 10 grand a year, and again, I'm working at Walmart, driving my mom's car at 10 o'clock at night. I'm really thinking about it. I'm like, my girlfriend has a really awesome job. I'm a lucky frickin' dude. I basically should be, you know that guy like outside a Price Chopper? And there's like a dude, Salvation Army though. And they had a little red coat on, which, don't even get me started on that shit. I'm not good enough for the military. Salvation Army wouldn't take me. They had a test to fail. But, you know the guy in the flannel shirt? And he smells like he just basically ate his own fecal matter. Yeah, that's the guy. Oh, come on, what's a little poo between you and a friend? No, I should be that guy. I basically have wasted every opportunity I've ever had in my entire life. And, yeah, I'm working at Walmart. And no offense to people that are doing labor, I mean, but you gotta think, my mom really pushed me to go to college and get an education, and I really have fucked up my entire life. And it's not that bad. I mean, it's really not that bad. I've got some stuff to live for, and I've got really good stories from college, which will evidently make Gary in the back think about dry vagina. I can't. So I've already mentioned my mom and my sister here. This is my girlfriend's here. I've got friends here. So I appreciate it. Guys, give yourself a hand. Coming out and supporting your friends and family. That's really awesome of you. It's a really big deal. A lot of people obviously have done no performing in public. Some of us have. Yeah, I don't know who. I can't really tell. I was busy fidgeting in the back, remembering how my life is falling apart. But I invited my father. I hadn't told my mom and my sister this. I actually called my dad. And I invited him, and he couldn't come tonight. He has prior engagements. He's actually beating the neighbor's kids. So I was a little hurt, but then again, that's the nicest thing he's ever done to me. And that's not to say my dad's a violent man. I mean, you can ask my family. He wasn't violent. He was a douchebag, but he wasn't violent all the time. You know, there's the tradition. Everyone has this tradition. At least I hope so. Maybe Jews don't. I know enough of them, but I've never seen them get spanked on their birthday. But not your birthday. I've been spanked on my birthday every year for the last 26 years. You know, you get one for every year you've already finished. You get another one, and then you get a pinch to grow an inch. Well, my mom still does it. It's creepy. It's a lot like mouth kissing my grandmother. I mean, it's something you kind of have to do. You don't know how long they're going to be around to appease the old woman, menopause, blah, blah, blah. But I do it, and well, the tradition got twisted in my dad's head. Evidently he was manic depressive. We didn't know this at the time. I mean, evidently flying into fits of rage and breaking shit for no reason wasn't a big clue. It's like, oh, dinner was good. Unbook all of you. It's my pain that's important. It kind of screws in your head. But my dad had a tradition. Instead of my birthday, anytime we had a friggin' chance, he'd take a fucking swing at me. It's like, happy Wednesday, douchebag. Oh, guess what? We're not Jewish. Happy fucking Hanukkah. Yeah. The bruises have healed. The pain, it doesn't go away. You guys came for free. I didn't have to pay. This is like therapy. It's like therapy. And the difference is I usually close my eyes in the sessions on the couch and I imagine life filled with 6-foot-tall blonde Swedish models and beer. You like beer? That's hot. That's really hot. Whew. There's probably Gary, the dry vagina shit again. So, yeah, and the thing is, it made my sister and I very different. I'm exceptionally sensitive. I kind of hide it, I joke too much, but my sister, she's a little fucking crazy. And that's kind of a rude way to politely say that my sister, if we compare the two of us, and now, here's my mom. She's very sweet and doting, and she's quiet, and she does, I'm a little mouse, she does all these funny little things for me. But Kristen, yeah, that's her, that's Kristen, so she's a good kid, but she's a fucking asshole. And if I say anything bad about her, my number one fear was that at some point during this little act, as we're calling it, she was gonna come and kick the shit out of me. This girl is not big, I mean, I'm 210, and she's like 109, with 6 towels on, holding a 100-pound weight, I'm not exactly sure. She's model sized, she can't even eat me, but she'll smoke cigarettes with me. But yeah, she's gonna come up and kick the shit out of me. She's got like 45-foot-long legs. And people like that, except when you're getting your ass kicked by a woman with 45-foot legs, because you learn how to restrain a woman, you know? And I'm not talking tying them up. I mean, don't go there. I can see the look on Scott's face, and that's not where I'm going. When you're getting your ass kicked by a chick, it doesn't matter if it's at home, or if it's school, or you're in a porn shop, or you grab the bouncer's girlfriend. It's, you know, you gotta understand, you grab the wrists, and you push them as far away as possible. Well, it never worked with Kristen. Her legs are like 46 inches long. I've been kicked in the balls so many times, and it still happens. Last Christmas, I opened a present from her and did not give this girl the reaction she was looking forward to. I couldn't have sex for 6 months. 3 of it was because I'm ugly. 3 of it was also because of the bruising. It's a confusing, very confusing thing. Did you guys been catching this cheat sheet shit we've all been doing? It's like real coy. It's like, so how are you guys doing? So suddenly I'm on a new topic. Did you catch me? We're not real polished, myself included. It's good when you make yourself laugh. I don't care if anybody else does. It's like, yeah, I'm a douchebag. At least I'll go to Walmart at 10 o'clock tonight and have something to laugh about when I'm cutting open packages that tickle me fucking elbows. And there's a lot of them. I don't know if you guys knew this. There's a new one that does the YMCA for you, but he does it with the E and the L and the... I fucking broke one yesterday at 5 o'clock in the morning just because it seemed like a good fucking idea. That little shit in the package, I kid you not. I put the package on the ground and you hear, it's like you stay at the E-L-L-O. I bugged the fuck out. There isn't enough antidepressants and anxiety drugs in the world for me not to fuck that thing up. And then to top it off, think of this, kids. I've got like 3 people to look up to my entire life on television. There are 3 famous redheads. HR Puff and Stuff. If you're old enough to remember Puff and Stuff, dude, that show was so gay. Like, it was a big 6-foot-tall dude. It was probably a chick who couldn't get laid, who gets a job. And then we've got Danny Bonaducci. And now we've got Elmo. I mean, that says a great deal about what's going on with the world. Or just my life. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna, quick show of hands, guys. How many people have had sex in a car? And don't lie. Be honest, because I'm up here, and I can actually see hands. I can't see faces. Mom? Oh, what the hell? We're gonna be up here another 10 minutes. So, Mom, wow. Give me a second to take that in, guys. That's disgusting. I actually just found out a couple years ago. I was consummated on the kitchen floor. My baby sister is actually like the kitchen table. That's something to live up to, folks. That's love. No, so anyway, back to this. I can't believe you put your hand up. Fucking menopause, goddamn. And I originally said I was going to pick on my mom, but she's just, it's Kristen screeching, and Mom, it's probably the van, wasn't it? It's that red van. That's so hot. The 8-track player. Stills and Nash on the radio. Maybe some Skinner, Freebird. Take my pants off to that, folks. That song sucks. So anyway, I was in college. A bunch of friends and I had been joking for a long time about how cool it would be to have sex in a car. Just seemed like a really good idea. I mean, one of you raised your hand and I'm related to her, so evidently I had another brother or sister I don't know about named Vega somewhere. But I was dating a girl. She was pretty remarkable. I mean, she turned into a psycho like most of the ones I do. And we decided one day, let's take our relationship to the next step, You got a Honda Prelude. It's an 89 2-door. It's really tiny, 5-speed. Let's screw in the car. Never mind that I had like a Daytona with a hatchback. No. I'm thinking, folks. Got a degree in psych, remember. And we decide to do it in the car. So, I'd like to say the hot loving commenced, but that's not exactly how things went. It was very awkward, and I fumbled for things I couldn't reach, and the lights kicked on, and the lights kicked off, and, I just noticed some gentle snowfall on the windshield. It could have been romantic. Right about the time she wrapped herself around me, wrapped us around the fucking telephone pole, I hadn't thought to pull over. Again, degree in psych. And yeah, that's sad. So, I'm 26, and obviously you can tell I think about sex a lot. I'm a man. I mean, guys, come on, give me a little applause. Who thinks about sex a lot? You guys totally suck. You're so full of shit. If you're married and you're in this room, you think about sex because you signed off the right to have it anymore, gentlemen, and you should know that. Just fess up, clap your hands, your lady friends can be next to you, whatever, get shit later. Yeah, you guys aren't married, shut up. But thank you, patronization, that's really great of you. I'm feeling good about myself. I live with my mom, though. So I work at Walmart. I have a degree in psychology. And I live with my mom. And not in a house, mind you. I live in the den of a 2-bedroom apartment. Now, the den, in some people's mind, it's like an extra bedroom. You furnish it with a computer and a fax machine, put a desk in it. It's a den. No, you walk up the stairs in our apartment, and you turn right. The enormous opening at the end of the living room with the curtains and the futon. That's where I sleep. And it's been really difficult getting women to stay after they realize that that's my room. I know. Again, 26. Working at Walmart. Living in your mom's den. So anyway, about 1.5 years ago, whoa, chill out. Jesus, Mike Stan. It's all good. Let's mellow out. So about 1.5 years ago, maybe 2 years, I can't remember. I tried to block the whole experience out. I was bringing a lady friend home. Evidently, she was really trashed because this whole den thing does not fly by anybody. Curtains aren't cutting the noise, folks. But we're in there. I'd like to say right now I'm delivering my A game. I want her to come back a second time. You gotta do your best. Or at least fake like you are. So that from then on you can pretend you don't care about her. Because women can fake orgasms, men can fake entire relationships. So, we're in the den. I hear a gentle knock on the... I don't remember what the hell my mom was knocking on. It was like a TV in the living room, but you get it. Oh, Bob! Bottom! I'm scared, I hear voices! Mom, is one of them mine? It sort of sounds like you. No, just a TV. Just a TV, no big deal. At this time, ladies, that's kind of freaky. Mom is now checking up on her son who lives in the den and has his degree, and that's the only thing he has on the wall except the futon. But so we get back into stuff. Mom goes away. It happens again. Shawn! But I'm really scared. Gooch, I'm hearing a lot of banging. I was like, God damn it, Mom, I'm the one banging. I am banging right now, I am banging until I'm done, and I will continue banging until I feel it is time for me to stop banging. Yeah, it didn't go over well. I got grounded and she took my car privileges away. You guys are cool. Okay, one last one. I want to get off stage because I'm just cracking myself thinking about how pathetic I am. When was the last time any of you guys, recently, show of hands, anyone been on a bus, plane, train, and sat in that emergency exit row? Anybody recently? Raise a hand. Just one dude? You guys not fucking get out? Did you just see the shit in the paper and you're like, oh, it's free, oh, that's for me? Thanks, appreciate the support. It's really fucking nice of you. So, I was on a trip to New York. I was on Metro North, which if you've ever happened to be on the train from Poughkeepsie, it's the one with the plastic seats and no air conditioning, and in the middle of the summer, the heat's 135 degrees. And needless to say, I was packed in next to a really chunky dude. It was my friend John. Easy air, so as I said anything. And we were sweating really bad. It was pretty gross. And I happened to look over in the middle of talking to him. I see the emergency sign. You gotta pull the little handle in the event of an accident. And I just kind of looked at him. I had nothing to say. I'm just like, dude, I can't do this. He's like, what? I go, well, dude, there's a lot of planes and shit crashing lately. This is a lot of fucking responsibility. You gotta think, in your moment of panic, I don't know a lot of people that are comfortable going out of their way to help somebody else. I'll give a homeless guy $1. I'll call my dad once in a blue moon, prank him, tell him he's a douchebag and he owes my mom 35 grand in child support, shit like that. The thing I'm thinking in the middle of the fucking train crash is I'm getting my fat lazy ass off this train immediately. I've opened the window, folks. You come out, I'll pull you. But I'm not sitting here and escorting old people out. My theory on old people at that moment is, screw all of y'all. I'm sorry if you're old, because I'm young and I'm selfish. But the thought there is, it's your time, kids. You gotta get it over with. You gotta just get off the train by yourself. If you can't get off, it's good enough. Guys, thank you, you've kicked ass. Cheer up everybody else. Give me a...
Okay, that was pretty short. But that's okay. Next time it'll be longer. Okay, now for our next comedian, a man with a lot of energy. His name is John McCarthy. Give him a big hand.
I tell you, don't you agree following Shawn is going to be a freaking tough act out there, you think? And I know we're in Saratoga, so I decided to go with some intellectual humor. Right, Shawn? Okay, you guys ready for this? It's in the morning, my morning. I don't know about the rest of you, but when I get up in the morning, I don't look too good. Damn. I know you crack a mirror, it's 7 years bad luck. If you break a toilet seat, is it 7 years of bad hemorrhoids. I told you it's going to get a little intellectual. You guys better wake up out there. Okay. The other day, I was feeling a little down. Matter of fact, I was feeling a little freaking low. You guys with me yet? Some of you out there know that I'm unemployed, and some of you are just finding out. I've been on hotjobs.com. I've been on monster.com. The other day, I was on a news site, obituaries.com. Pretty interesting site. And I still can't even get a freaking dead man's job. What's up with that, right? Well, I was feeling a little down, like I said, and I was telling my wife, I said, I'm starting to feel like a loser. And only as a loving wife could be. She looked at me. Honey, don't call yourself a loser, you retard. I don't know you guys out there, but that didn't do it for me. Didn't feel much better about my freaking self. Now, I'm not only a loser, I'm a freaking retarded loser. Yeah, real good. Okay. There's people out there, I don't know if you know any, that they got these catchphrases, okay? My mother, who's 81, has her own catchphrase. And I tell you, to me, they're just freaking annoying. So, talking to my mother, here we go. Son, this is your mother calling. Ma, how you doing today? I need to run something by you. What's that, Ma? I'm thinking of buying a full-length mink coat. Really? You can afford that, Ma? Yes, I can. Okay, go for it, go for it. A little while later, matter of fact, 2 months later, what's up with that mink coat? Never saw you wear that mink coat. Son, I wear it when I'm shoveling snow, or when I go to the landfill. The landfill, Ma? Yes, the landfill. Ma, I didn't know the landfill had a dress code. Slow out there, come on now, this is funny shit. Shawn, you ruined them for me, buddy, you ruined them. Not enough F word happening up here. Okay, I got something weird going on. Nobody out there, I bet you got the same thing going on I do. I had my 81-year-old mother and my 23-year-old daughter dating at the same time. Is that weird shit or what? Thank God they're not dating each other. And only one can get pregnant. And I tell you, my freaking mother hates taking that goddamn pill. Shawn, that was funny, right? My mother just started dating an old boyfriend from, believe it or not, 60 years ago. I'm 50 years old. Before I was 60 years ago. Here's the conversation. Son, this is your mother calling. Yes, Ma, how are you today? Listen, Ed wants to take me to Florida for 2 weeks. I want to run that by you. I'm thinking, oh my God, the S word, my mom and sex. Ma, where are you going to stay in Florida? Son, Ed has a 1-bedroom condo. Really? Oh. Still not making me feel much better, Ma. Okay. She goes to Florida, she's back. Son, this is your mother! Ma, how was that trip to Florida, Ma? I'll tell you one thing, our first night together was unbelievable! A son's nightmare, right? The first night, like I said, unbelievable! We were exhausted, and we didn't sleep a wink! Oh my God. Once Ed dropped those little blue Viagra pills, we spent the whole night looking for them! Because you guys finally woke up. Okay. My last bit, my favorite bit. If anybody's been paying attention at all, the SEC has been fining people out there for using obscenities. And since I'm freaking unemployed, I'm doing a public service announcement so I don't get fined. Because I'm going to be using the F word next. Everybody ready for it? I'm feeling a little frisky! I know this is Saratoga. Okay. So the guys out in the audience, you ever have one of those days where everything goes right at work, you got the big raise, you got the big promotion, you're in the zone. Well, when I was working, believe it or not, I did have a day like that. I came home, my lovely wife met me at the front door, as only she would do, and she said, "Honey, how was your day?" I tell you, you wouldn't believe the kind of day I had. It was outstanding. I got the raise, I got the promotion. Matter of fact, I'm feeling a little frisky! And as only a lovely wife can do, she looks at me again. Why don't you just go frisk yourself? Damn, that feels real good. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. And now we have, straight from the nearest truck stop, cafe, buffet, his name is Scott, and he's an ex-trucker. Welcome to the stage.
First of all, there's one thing I gotta get off. Just so everybody knows, I'm feeling a little husky! As everybody can see, I'm a big guy. And one thing big people hate is going to the doctor. But every time you go to the doctor, you hear the same thing. "You know, Scott, you're awful big. It's a good idea if you get in shape." So I looked at my doctor one time. I said, "You know, Doc, last time I checked, round was a shape." Being a big guy, you gotta change your lifestyle a little bit. So I've become a bisexual. I have sex twice a year. Me and my wife, when we have sex, we do it doggy style. I sit up and beg, she rolls over and plays dead. I couldn't sleep the other night, so I got up and got on the computer, and I decided to have a little cyber sex. The only problem is I couldn't find a condom to fit over my computer. So I finally built up enough nerve to go unprotected. I lasted, like I usually do, 2.5 minutes. I was so tired I could go back to sleep. My best man at my wedding, me and him decided to go into business together. My last name is Dunkley. His last name is Fangboner. We were going to open up our own business. We were going to call it Dunkaboner's Whorehouse. I used to drive truck. Every Wednesday I used to go up to Scarborough, Ontario. So I had to go across the Peace Bridge into Canada. So I'd get up to the customs agent there, and he'd say, what are you hauling? I looked at him, I said, I got a truckload of people in the back. He says, all right, out of the truck. So I get out of the truck, we go back, we open up the trailer doors. He says, wait, he says, everything's on pallets. I said, yeah, I said, it's a load of People magazine. So I used to go up and deliver, and then I'd come back to Buffalo, and I'd sleep for the night. So I'd get back to the border, I'd be empty. So the custom agent says, what do you got in the back? I said, I'm empty. He says, well, where do you live? I said, in New York State. He says, what are you hauling? I said, I told you, I'm empty. He says, well, where'd you go? I said, I went to Scarborough, Ontario. I dropped my load. Now I'm coming back. He says, what do you got in the back? I said, all right, you caught me. I'm smuggling in a load of Canadian Air. If I ever get to be famous, you people out there, don't ever look for me on HBO. Because television, you know, makes you look bigger, and I don't need any help. The only way you'll ever see me on TV is if Slim Fast comes out with their own channel. At school, I used to have an English teacher. His name was Mr. Lotta. And he used to have his class up on the second floor. And he'd always say, the first day of school, he'd say, you know, if we have a fire drill, you're to get up, go out the door, around to the right, down the stairs, and out the door. He says there'll be no talking at all. He says if anybody talks, they got to come up to my room for an hour after school from 3 to 4. And he says you come in my room, you sit at the desk, he goes, I go buzz, 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 and you have to get up and go out and go downstairs and out on the sidewalk. Then they motion you in, and then have to come in and back up the stairs again. Yeah, that's all I need, an hour of me after school, run my fat ass up and down them stairs. I've been on a diet since April. And I'm kind of proud of myself. I've only gained once since April, but it's been continuous. I was on a dehydrated food diet one time, ate nothing but dehydrated foods for about 6 months. One day I drank a glass of water and gained 150 pounds. Being my size, it was hard to pick up women. I go into a bar, see a nice looking girl sitting at the bar, and I go over to her and I say, you know, I can make your breasts look larger, appear, you know, bigger than they are. And she goes, are you a doctor, surgeon? I say, no, just let me hold them, I got small hands. I was down in Alabama one time, and I stopped to get something to eat, because it was almost 2 hours since I ate breakfast. And I heard rumors that the Southerners don't like truckers from up north. So I went in this place anyways, and I said to the guy, I says, you know, give me a couple hamburgers, you know, French fries, chocolate shake, you know, diet stuff. And he says, where are y'all from? He says, don't sound like you're anywhere from this neck of the woods. I said, no, I'm from upstate New York. He goes, upstate New York? He says, what do you do up there? I said, I'm a taxidermist. He says, a taxidermist? He says, what's that? I said, I'm not dead animals. He turns around, he says, it's all right, boys, he's one of us. A couple weeks ago, my car broke down right in front of Warren County Jail. So I called my father-in-law to come up, bring some tools up, because all I did was bust a radiator hose. So my wife was with me. So my father-in-law gets there and he gives me the tools and I start fixing it. My wife gets, her skin breaks out. So my father-in-law says to my wife, she says, how's your hands? She said, Daddy, they're breaking out. I looked around, I said, you don't say breaking out in front of a jail. When I was driving truck, I used to have to go into the scale houses, you know, get your truck weighed by the DOT officers. And I pulled into one time, and the guy says, you know, he says, you're 400 pounds overweight on your entire truck. He says, if you get the weight off, he says, I'll let you go. I said, okay, let me get out of the truck. I've been married for a while, and after all these years, I finally built up the nerve to have anal and oral sex. Tomorrow I go into the hospital and get the toothbrush removed from my ass. When I was a kid, like most people, I had an imaginary friend, but mine was a little different. Mine was a schizophrenic. I was never alone, but I never knew who I was playing with next. I went out trick-or-treating this year, and I decided, you know, when you're my size, you try to cut down on as much as you can. So I went to the same houses twice. Lady says, weren't you here before? I says, it's okay. I'm Justice General MacArthur. I will come back from anywhere. I've come up with an idea for a new show. I'm going to take 3 guys to come to your house and do scientific experiments. It's called Queer Eye for Bill Nye the Science Guy. My mom and dad used to run a bed and breakfast up in Lake George. And we used to have this couple that used to come every year. One day, we're sitting downstairs and she comes running down. She goes, quick, call the poison control center. My dad says, why, what's wrong? She says, well, I started brushing my teeth and she says, I noticed the toothpaste didn't taste right. So my dad says, well, what did you use? She goes, this, and she pulls out a tube. It was Preparation H. My wife is a breast cancer survivor, so she wears a prosthesis. So one day we're driving down the interstate, and we had a Ford Aerostar. And in the summertime, it gets awful hot because it's just rubber. So she takes it off and she sets it on the floor. I pick it up and I stick it to her arm. And it's stuck there. I said, look, honey, I can play with you anytime I want. When I was 6 years old, I went to Frontier Town with a group in the summertime. And with the mentality of a 6-year-old kid, I was on the stagecoach ride, and these guys come with their bandanas over their faces, robbing the stagecoach. And I had my little lunchbox with me, which didn't hold much. So I'm there, and the guy sticks a gun at me. He says, "Look, give me all your money." I pointed to the lunchbox. I said, "See these guys? They're the Cartwrights. And when I get home, I'm going to call them up. They're going to come up and rescue them." Thank you. You've been a good audience.
We don't have any more comedians. How about some of you coming up? I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for enjoying the show, and I hope you had a lot of fun. And the comedians that you met tonight this is their first time on stage. So give them a big hand. Anybody have anything to say?
Anyone want my phone number?
Meet Lisa. So thank you very much, and come again. We'll have.
But it seemed like forever today. I got done.